ladies and gentlemen. Looks like we're on another episode of the Dallas Mavericks vent session for a post game because, well, the Dallas Mavericks just don't know how to close anything out these days. That's just the reality to it. We have a team that plays with energy and then a team that quits. And then they run back and then they quit. And then they let the refs get involved and then they quit. And so here we are again, getting to be frustrated as Mavs fans because we don't have a team that seems to want to win when it matters. Luka can't hit a three to save his life anymore. He makes boneheaded three-point shots at the end of every game now. He thinks he can still hit threes like he could last year before his knees got hurt. He can't. And again, we're sitting here wondering why the hell our team sucks. We wasted a wonderful game by Klay Thompson, who we had to worry about his mental abilities considering the game. Came through great. Made 6 threes. Yeah, he missed one late, but everybody misses one. They missed them late too. But when it mattered, Steph Curry decided he wanted to score and he wasn't going to miss. And our team decided they didn't want to show up. I don't really care that Gafford's got a foul that shouldn't have been a foul. We had a chance to win this and we blew it. And that's, I just don't know. Like, I can't keep making excuses and blaming the refs. Yeah, the refs screwed Gafford. That should have been ours. That's a massive turning point. And I probably agree with everybody in the chat. But at the end of the day, you can't make that three-point shot with that contested. Give it to somebody else. But we shouldn't have been in the position for Luka to have to make that three because we shouldn't have been playing offense the way we did the last minute and a half of the game. We shouldn't have to keep waiting for Luka to decide whether or not to take stupid threes to be the hero. We shouldn't be in this position every game. And the reality is Luka passed up a lot of threes tonight and drove and did the things I want to see him do. He went to the post. He took them to the rim. Nobody else wanted to show up. Gafford choked at the end. Lively couldn't do anything at the end. Draymond Green, who's not even near as tall as our guys, blocking our guys from behind. It's just unacceptable basketball. It's what we get as Mavs fans, evidently, though. We can't manage to win anything that matters right now. And I don't know what to say anymore. I don't know what to say. There's only one thing I know what to say, and I'll get told I'm stupid for that. But Jason Kidd doesn't know how to motivate his team. He doesn't know how to get his team to care about the basketball game in front of them. And that's all there is to it. Keith Morris, what is Keith Morris doing? I thought he was there to motivate the players. That's what y'all told me. What is he doing? Because they don't work. We came out flat at halftime. We got ran all over in the third. We decided to come back. Then we decided to play in the fourth. And then we quit again in the end. Anybody recognize the pattern? Oh, yeah, we started slow again in the first and gave up another 33-point first quarter. What? I mean, do we just want to see how hard we can make our lives? Because that's what I feel like as a Mavs fan right now. So on that note, since TGK is driving back from Cosm, Dallas, we got our special guest host today, Ennie. So let's go ahead and bring him into the show. And I should have a couple of graphics ready to go pretty soon. So let me see here. Let me turn this on and let me get his camera back in here. It didn't load again. Before I bring him up here, let me get this loaded up. There he is. Welcome to the show.
What's up, everybody? How are we doing?
Oh, you are echoing into this. It might be me. It might be me. I might have a setting turned on, actually. I do. Okay, we're good.
All right, y'all hear me? Well, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. It was echoing into my ear.
Can the people hear me?
Oh yeah. No, they can.
Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Feel free to go off for a minute. I got to finish a graphic, so go ahead.
That was painful. I mean, you said it all, dude. You have a way of just encapsulating the frustration that everyone sees while watching these games, and then I'm reading on Twitter, and then you are like the great orator and bringing it out with the energy that it needs to be brought out with, because that was, I mean, on many fronts, very frustrating game to watch. I mean, look, it was in some fronts an entertaining game. It was close up until the end, but you're right. The Mavs they're just finding ways to just lose games. It's a complete opposite of what we watched last year. This is kind of mirroring kind of how 22 went, where we felt like we had a team, but for some reason it's just we just keep on finding ways to lose games. Our team rises and falls with the decision making of Luka Doncic, and he has to know that. He has to know that this team is built in a way where we don't need him to do everything. We all know what he's capable of doing. The league knows what he's capable of doing. He needs to take advantage of that fact and make better decisions, right? That last second shot at the end, I don't know what the F that was. That was unbelievable. The turnaround jumper towards the end of the game, I think the shot before that, I would rather him shoot something else. I mean, he's capable of getting most of any kind of look that he wants, so I would want it to be something more efficient. And then, I mean, of course, us being Dallas, we have to, for some reason, we have to face, it's like we face the other team, and then we also facing like a third, opposition in the refs, because some of their calls, tonight, and their missed calls too. That Steph foul, non-foul, on Grimes at the end. That Grimes 3 should have been an and one, but for some reason, they didn't want to call that. I mean, that was almost textbook in his landing zone. But I don't know, man. I want to be optimistic. It's still very early in the season. It's still only 11 games. Maybe I'm going to chalk it up to, trying to, figure all these pieces out, even though, look, here's what I know. There's a lot of ups and downs in an NBA season, especially when you're, a Dallas Maverick fan. We even experienced a lot of downs last year. Even, the year that we went to the finals, we experienced a lot of downs. Even the year we won a championship, we experienced downs during the season. So I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm trying to ride the low right now and just praying that something will click down the road. Something will click in this team that, hey, maybe we should bring the energy at the beginning of the game so we wouldn't have to climb our way out of the hole during the second and third quarter. I'm not liking what I'm saying, but I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm trying.
TGK just said Stix heavy breathing. It's hilarious.
Yeah, dude, you're like seething, bro.
My son was furious. Let me go over the stats real quick. So Mavs obviously lose 120 to 117. We shot 44 of 84 for 52.4%. 11 of 34 on three. Another terrible three-point shooting game, 32.4%. We shot 18 of 24s for 75% on free throws. We still suck there. A couple of those were lively. I think your best was 50%. We had 17 turnovers.
Jeez.
To their 12. We had 40 rebounds to their 50. So we have a 7'2" Lively and a 6'11" Gafford, and their tallest guy is Draymond. Okay. I'm sorry. They do have Kevin. They do have Looney, and Looney.
They have Looney and
Looney.
I'm gonna
make out a tweet that Looney is now the Angel Reese of the NBA. That man can't hit his shot for nothing, but he can rebound. So that's what we call Looney. We'll just call him Angel Looney. 26 assists to their 29. We can't get assists. Yeah. We had.
I like that.
We had one block to their 7.
That's not good.
Embarrassing.
Yes.
56 points in the paint to their 50. We should have won that by more. 15 to 25 on fast break points. We lost that. And we gave up 13 steals to their 6. So, and they shot 45 of 94, 14 of 41 at 60 to 27. This game would have actually not even been this close if they could have hit a free throw, by the way.
Yeah, that's true. I'm looking at free throws.
59.3%.
I'm looking at threes. There's not that big of a discrepancy in threes.
No, and they're a better three-point shooting team than that.
Yeah, and I mean, it was just I mean, of course we're battling the refs again. I understand. There's frustration with that. But there's some elements of the game that you can't control, such as the decision making that you have running the offense. And I just felt, man, when we're supposed to be the clutch team in crunch time, and it seems like offense is just the offense is just not running as smoothly as it needs to. I kind of have a saying to myself that only when I'm watching the games, I don't really say this in person. When I'm watching it by myself, I say precision offense. When I say precision offense, I say get the shot that you know that you want to get, right? Especially when it comes up when you're on a run off a step missed 3, and it's like just get the shot that you want, right? We're not forcing nothing. Nothing is coming at the end of the shot clock when you're just tossing some bullshit up. Or I'm not sure if we're allowed to cuss. I'm sorry.
But no, we don't care on the post-game show.
Okay, cool. So yeah. There was moments where it was like, okay, we got the rebound. I think it was like, after, Wiggins missed a 3. I was like, all right, precision offense. Run the pick and roll, get the lob, get it open 3, get a layup, let's get something smooth. Let's just run it. And it's just not as, it's not running as smoothly as it did last year. So it's very frustrating to watch. It's hopefully, like I said, I'm going to keep on saying this probably throughout the night. Hopefully something clicks. This is not how we're going to look in January, February, March, and we'll be a totally different team with or without making big trades. That's where I'm getting my head on.
I don't know that everybody's going to agree with this. I didn't call TGK because he was partying. It caused him, and now he's driving back. So I'm giving player of the game to Klay.
Oh, yeah.
22 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He shot 50% from 3. He kept his head in the game. He had a lot of clutch plays down the stretch. A lot of good momentum shifts from him. You can't ask for much more than that out of him. Yeah. I mean, he did what we needed him to do.
I agree with that too. I felt like this game, and hopefully they're not doing it just because they want Klay to get back, but this is how they should be incorporating Klay in the offense. They need to be getting.
I need to deal with a comment real quick before we go any further. Hey, Richard Case, I know you love to keep talking about the taller players. I know you love it, Richard. However, I think the Warriors are now 1 or 2 in rebound ranking, and they are the shortest team for rebounders. So looks like I don't know what to say, but I believe rebounding is more of a hustle stat than it is a height problem. And we don't hustle.
We don't.
They do.
Our team is not tenacious. We have no tenacity when we play the game.
Yeah.
We play very slow, methodical, and at some points that's good, but like you said, you need that hustle. Like there's no reason why some of our bigs are getting blocked, even though that last Draymond block, I think that shouldn't have been a foul. He did lead with his forearm first before he got the block. I don't know.
Well, yeah, they gave him the phantom call that Gafford was scored on. Mm-hmm. He was under the basket. Gafford didn't do anything. He wasn't outside the restricted zone. There should have never been a foul call on that. And then they give him the block, and he had his elbow in his back, shoving it. Like I said, this is our second op. And it's one of those things that you got to look out for is when you're playing those high value teams. You were playing the Lakers, you play the Knicks. Well, I'm not sure the Knicks, even though they're the most viable NBA franchise. But when you're playing the Lakers, the Celtics, the Warriors now, that's the type of stuff that you're probably going to get, honestly.
And we kept the game somewhat in balance. It's just at the end we just were not making the right plays. Just not. And I know that sounds kind of generic, but I mean it is what it is. I need Luka to step up. I need him to, use his weight and get crunch time. Get to the freaking basket, dude. Get to the basket. Kyrie, keep doing what you're doing. Kyrie is doing great. And we got to get Klay more shots. I think I was saying that before you had to acknowledge Richard's comment. But the Mavericks I was hoping that they will do this game, but this is something that needs to go on. They need to get Klay more shots. On fast breaks, if you have numbers, you need to be looking, where's Klay? If we can get a wide open shot for Klay, then keep it rocking. But it seems like we don't do it as much. Who's this unknown caller?
It's TGK. It's TGK. I'll have you breathe all I want, TGK. I'll have you know.
Hopefully, I'm not heavy breathing.
You talking yet? Or are you going to talk? Or are you just going to sit there and?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
How's the audio? Everything sound all right?
Garbage, but I'm going to try to clean it up real quick.
Okay. So, as you're cleaning, thank you, Eddie, for filling in for.
Hey, man, no problem. I know you were having a good time at Cosm. You didn't tell nobody you were going.
Well, it was a good time at the Cosm. It was great. And then it just soured so quickly within the final minute of the game, or final 2-3 minutes.
Bro, what is with your Bluetooth headset right now? What is with your headset right now? You sound like you're underwater.
Do you want me to select my headset earpiece?
It sounds like you're. It almost sounds like you're too. That actually sounds better, even though I have car noise. It sounds better.
Okay, it actually sounds better for me too. Okay, are we good now?
Yeah, go.
Okay. All right, man. So like the last 3 minutes of that game, like I'm like, all right, the Mavs found something. Klay hit a clutch three. The entire Cosm is losing its mind. We're flexing, we're talking crazy, and then everything went downhill when Draymond Green was in the restricted area and they called a charge on Daniel Gafford. Everything went downhill after that. It pissed me the hell off. It did, man, because it's like, all right, bro, like the Warriors just always get every single call. But besides all the calls, and I'm not trying to make it a referee thing, that's a different topic for a different day, right? The big issue is how our offense worked down the stretch. It didn't matter who it was. If Kyrie had the ball, if Luka had the ball, we play like we had no chemistry or have no idea what to do with the offense. Like the fact that it took Quentin Grimes to hit a clutch shot and no one else could have hit a clutch shot or made a clutch play. It was just, I don't know what it is, man. I don't know. Like it's to the point where no matter what we do, we're 1-4, 1-5 in the clutch. It just don't matter. Like we have not figured out. We don't have an identity, and whatever identity we did have, they just forget about it. They don't know what they're doing when it comes down to these clutch situations. So, and again, I think, and I was watching this game, and at the Cosm, what's crazy about the Cosm? You're literally courtside. You feel like you're in the arena, and I'm seeing Luka just talk crap to everybody. Walking up and down the court, like I thought he talked trash a lot, but no, bro, it's different. And it's like they get so distracted with the officials, like so much talking, they get caught up in that. And then, can I talk about Luka's final shot? Can we talk about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the final shot, right? There's so much talk on Mavs Twitter talking about, Luka's playing out of position and this and that. Well, did you see how tired he was? The reason they give other players to bring the ball up the court is to save his legs. He didn't have anything at the end of the shot, at the end of the final possession. And so when he goes out there and he throws that shot up, y'all think that's by creation or by on purpose? No, he was tired. He just threw a lazy shot up. That's what you do when you're exhausted. But what he should have done, should have gave it to someone else, right? But again, should have given it to Kyrie. Should have given it to someone else. There was so much time for that to be the last shot. This wasn't like you only had 1 second.
I was gonna say, but it's not even that. we're not even trying to do a pick and roll or anything. It's just Luka standing up there. We're just like, we've literally seen the same play 3 games in a row.
Yep.
And it's not worked.
They didn't create anything.
3 games in a row.
Yeah. Let me get this last
before I let Ben get on here, I need you to get on here.
Trying to get off.
Feedback's terrible with that car anyway. Finish your statement, then I'll get you on.
Okay. All right. Let me finish this. All right, let me get out of here. Appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Y'all like the stream. Anyway, so with Luka Doncic pulling that last shot off, like, you got to think about it, bro. Again, legs are dead tired. People want him to play 50% usage rate and all this stuff. But the thing is, like, he's taking a final shot as if he only had 2 seconds. And because every single last final shot he's been taking is at the very end with 1 to 2 seconds left, he's just conditioned to not trust time. It's like he doesn't trust time. Hey, y'all remember Bubble Luka? He worked that clock perfectly. I don't know what it is. But anyway, man, I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate y'all boys. Y'all doing an amazing job. And keep venting. Vent.
All right. Well, before I bring Ben on, I just want to address a couple things in the comments that people are being a little ridiculous about that I've seen as I'm trying to scroll through. Obviously, when everybody's venting, you can't even read it all because everybody's just going so fast. If anybody wants to say Luka's defense has been bad, you're either one straight troll or you aren't watching the game. Luka's defense has been fantastic. That man has been hustling. He has been in front of players. He kept Steph multiple times from getting shots. You cannot tell me that this is the same Luka as the pass and defense. You're not watching the games if that's what you think.
Yeah, if Luka was playing bad defense, they were not. Because at the end of the game, they weren't hunting for Luka. They were hunting for Lively. They wanted that Lively mismatch.
And
with Steph.
That is the problem. Jason Kidd makes no swaps. He continues to play switch defense, continues to let the team rotate to the weakest player. Then they clear out, and they run their fast guard directly after our centers all the way to the lane. And Jason Kidd makes no changes to that.
And the fact of the matter, too, what really pisses me off about that is it's like sometimes when you switch when you die on the screen, and we're not even dying. Like, they're not switching on death on screens. They're literally, the guy's literally tapping them and moving away, and they're switching. Like, they're not putting up any resistance, right? We try to do the same thing on the other end. We're trying to get Steph on Luka. They're not having that. Like, they're hedging. They're doing anything. By all means, they're not having Steph on Luka. And that's kind of the principle we need to have, especially with a player as deadly as Steph Curry. We need to make sure we have someone who's capable of guarding him. It's like, of course, you have keep dibs on him on a screen, but it can't just be like on a tap of the back end you switch that. Like, it can't be that easy to get the mismatch. That's what you want. You have a guy that's skilled. Please get me the weakest matchup, and if they're just gonna give them to me, literally, we're playing into their hands, and it's not the best coaching, in my opinion.
All right, what you got, Ben?
All right, can you hear me? All right.
Yeah, you're good.
First of all, yeah, okay, good. So guys, first of all, good to see you both, and TGK, even though he's gone, and everybody else. But I'm just going to get straight into what I thought about this, because I've been watching bits of games, and it kind of feels like we're the Phoenix Suns of last year right now. That's how it kind of feels. In fact, maybe even worse. Because, the whole Phoenix Suns, they came into the season with this, we're going to have a big three and it's going to be amazing and no one's going to be able to guard us and all this stuff. And I watched this offense and I think you've got three individually, you've got three champions, you've got three, Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers playing on the team. You've got amazing, great pieces around them, like fantastic players. And I think this has truly got to the point where this is the true, if he hasn't been exposed before, the exposure of Jason Kidd. I'll get on to Luka in a second, but this is the true exposure of Jason Kidd, because when he had one superstar or maybe 1.5 superstars and the rest of the players he had were Maxi Kleber and Dwight Powell, it's like, let Luka handle the ball, let him take all the crazy shots, all the rest of it. It's like, we got guys who can take shots now. Why are they not taking these shots? I don't understand that last quarter at all. The decision making by Luka and Kidd was terrible. Like, you had Luka come down and shoot that awful in the last couple of minutes, awful like shot, and then you had that turnover which was shocking, and then then on the last possession of the game we thought, let's just do like a 40-footer, triple contested free. Like, what were we thinking? And I think with Kidd, this is it. He's been given too many like good players where he doesn't know how to use them. His offensive schemes are shocking. You got guys just standing on the outside. It's the same Mavs offense from last year. It's like, guys, we got people who can cut. We got people who can do stuff. And I know you see Luka occasionally cut. You're seeing this kind of like whatever, but it's like, man, like we're below 500. Just let that sink in. We're below 500, and this isn't like 2 games, 3 games, and 4 games into the season. This is, I know it's 10, 11, 12 games into the season now. And we're losing to like at the end of the day, the one thing I will say about Golden State is they wanted to win this game. Like at the end there, people talk about the clutch, and this is a very important term. Last year, we were all like, oh, it's a clutch situation, I'm not worried. Oh, what, we're down by 20 at halftime, I'm not worried. We used to make jokes about it. We used to like be like, haha, watch what happens. And every single time, Kyrie, Luka, bang, 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 okay, we win the game. Big celebration, right? Well, it's not happening. It's not happening. And the question is, I think this is the same mentality as the Bradley Beal, KD, and Devin Booker thing from last year, where their mentality was, oh, it's fine, guys, we're too good for them, we'll just beat them in the last quarter. But it's almost got so laissez-faire, so lackluster, where it's like they can't even do that anymore. And man, I'm worried because I think they've hitched their boat to Jason Kidd, and I don't think he can get the best out of these guys. We've got the players. We have no excuses to lose these games. None.
No. We don't have an excuse to lose almost anything we've lost this season. Outside of, I would say, the Phoenix game where they just absolutely just got away with bloody murder on free throws and fouls. Actually, probably the next game too. But this is 100%. Well, I will say 2 things. One, I was going to clarify earlier because people were talking about DJJ in the chat. And DJ, like, if you think DJJ would have been more beneficial than Najee Marshall was tonight, or the last 3 nights, you aren't paying attention. I'm just saying.
We have to. Sorry, Stix. We have to have. And I'm in agreement with a few people who said this, and I know kind of everybody instinctually knows this, right? Who's watched the Mavs or watched basketball for long enough, is that realistically the best lineup we probably put out doesn't include Klay Thompson starting. Because you got to pick your poison. You either got to have Luka and Klay or Luka and Kyrie, but you can't have all 3 of them in the starting lineup. I just don't think, for whatever reason, it's not working. Because the concept is, it's going to have amazing spacing, but it seems like there's not like an offensive flow. Like there's no offensive flow because I think the other 2.
No, Ben.
When you got all 3 of them on the court,
zero offensive flow. There's zero offensive flow.
Because when you got all 3 of them on the court, what happens is they're all trying to help each other.
Ben, it doesn't even matter if they're on the court.
ISO.
But Ben, it doesn't even matter if they're on the court. It's the same problem no matter who's on the court.
Yeah,
there is no flow.
I don't think that's a Klay problem too.
No, it's not a Klay problem. It's a coaching problem. Yeah. We're not adjusting.
By the way, when I say Klay to the bench, I'm not saying Klay's playing badly. I'm not saying he's the problem. He's not the problem. In fact, he's probably been the bright sparks this season so far. But I love Klay Thompson on this team. The problem is it's the fit. The fit is all wrong. Like it's not working right now at the moment. It's like there might be a way to make Kyrie, Klay, and Luka, but at the end of the day, that's 3 guards on the floor at the same time. It may be a way to make those guys work together, but Jason Kidd, I don't know if he's the guy to work that out. I just don't. And the bit I'm most disappointed with this entire thing is, man, I was really hoping like this is the season. We're going to come out the blocks hot. We're going to win all of our games. We're going to have Luka MVP. We're going to look like an absolute force. People are going to fear us. No one fears us. No one fears us right now. Like, I can't see anyone. We're probably the laughing stock of the league. Aside from, I think the Timberwolves and us are like competing for laughing stock of the league at the moment. Maybe the Knicks. I don't know. But
there's definitely some teams voting for way worse than us if we're talking laughing stock. Okay, let's not go off the deep end, Ben. Come on.
I'm jumping. I'm jumping at this stage.
You're
but,
jumping.
yeah.
You already jumped.
Like
You
I
ain't
said,
jumping.
it's 11 games into the season. We've had moments where it looked like there was no way we're getting out of it, and then lo and behold, we make another run and we make our way to the finals. So you just got to ride with the ebbs and flows of the season. But I do agree with what you're saying. The offense looks like it has no flow. It looks like it is very slow and methodical. I don't necessarily think it's a Klay problem. I think at least on paper, I think Klay fits with what you're trying to do with Luka and Klay. However, how they are implementing him in the offense, how they're running or whatever they're doing, it's just not working. And I don't think it's a Klay problem. I really don't.
You know what, Eddie? You know what it kind of reminds me of a little bit, and this is really grim. It's a bit sad to say, but do you remember? I think it was the 22-23 season. Was it 22 when Luka? I think that was probably the worst Luka MAVS squad we've had. I think that was after Jalen Brunson left. I think we had Dinwiddie, who was our second option, and we had Reggie Bullock, Cardio B at that point, basically our third best player, and he couldn't even score a point. And I remember during that season, I would look at our offense and I think, man, unless Luka's basically scoring, or you get the occasional sort of, Dinwiddie kind of pop-off game, or one of those rare dodo birds of a THJ game, literally nobody scoring. We and it looks, when we're on offense, it's like whatever team, especially when it's crunch time, we look like we're struggling to score. And I'm thinking, bro, there's no way in hell. I'm sorry, there's no universe where having Klay Thompson, probably the second best pure shooter of all time. Who knows, right? I mean, debatable, right? You got Luka Doncic, who's, potentially, I mean, depending on how his career goes, could be one of the greatest top 10 players of all time. I mean, I think he's, and then you got Kyrie Irving, who, let's be honest, if the guy was 6'6", I truly believe he would be the best player of all time. I mean, he would be. So, we've got, with those three players on the court, with that much, plus everything else we've got, Lively's, the Gaffords, everything else, there's no way in hell we should be struggling to score against anyone. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's the Boston Celtics. I don't care who it is, especially not when it's important. When it's important, we should be able to just close it down, and we were able to do that last year. When we wanted to score, we could score. We can't score.
But Ben, we're not struggling to score. We have 117
when it matters,
points.
We are, man. When it matters, we are.
No, we're not struggling to
Yeah,
score. We just have moments where we don't know what to do. We have no rhythm. Klay did better tonight because a lot of his threes came to him in a rhythm shot, which is what I was talking about the last two games. Klay needs a rhythm shot. It's what he's used to. He's used to moving off screens and getting a rhythm shot. They've been just having him stand flat-footed, wait for a ball, and fire. It isn't working for him. Tonight he got rhythm, and he was making shots. Luka was finally passing up threes and going to the rim, playing more in the post, not settling. And then what happens?
Until the end.
Until the end. And then what happens at the end? Hold on, Daryl. I'll let you on in just a second. What happens in the end is that we always go back to the same thing. The problem that Luka doesn't seem to understand is he still has leg injuries. He's playing harder on defense, and he's drained. He doesn't have the legs to get his threes, and it's throwing off his shot. He's never played this hard at defense and tried to shoot threes regularly. And he can't give it up. And he does. And then at the very end, he goes right back to it's like his comfort blanket. I can still do this. You can't. You can't. And instead of making a play, Jason Kidd just throws Luka out and says, Luka, you do Luka. It's unacceptable coaching. Because you got to be able to see that your player doesn't have the legs to make that shot. He hasn't been making threes straight for the entire season. The play call should not be to let Luka dribble for 10 seconds. He shot with 5 seconds to go,
He
didn't even shoot yet.
This is why players love playing for Jason Kidd, though, as you realize.
Because there's no accountability.
His whole thing is, because essentially he says, come on, they got to play their way out of it. If you're obviously one of his special favorite toys, you can play your way out of it, or you can have as much rope to play your way out of it as you like, right? Unless you're Quentin Grimes or someone, which you can't, or you're Jaden Hardy, which you can't. But if you're Luka, I mean, you can shoot those shots, and obviously no one has the balls really. And this is a problem. This is probably never going to change, to be honest. No one has the balls to kind of really tell Luka, just be like, look, you stop taking that. That's a crap shot, I mean, because it seems like in the sort of the sort of hierarchy of sort of the Mavs locker room, right? You got Kyrie, you got Klay, and you got Luka, and those are the guys who can kind of tell people that they made a bad play. Those are the guys who can tell, but no one, and to be fair, like, I think the only person I've ever seen, kind of talk to Luka is Kyrie, and even then it has to be kind of like gently, because I mean, whatever we said, but I mean, one of his biggest drawbacks with Luka is he's a passionate dude, which I guess is good in one way, but I want to see that passion when it's a few minutes to play and we need a bucket. I want to see that passion of you driving to the basket, not just giving up some stupid, 3-point contested shot.
All right, long-winded. All right, long-winded. All right, let me go to Darrow. Let me let him get in here because we're only supposed to be on for about 30 to 40 minutes on this. So let me let him get in here.
Go for it.
All right, Darrow, how's it going, man? You there?
Oh, is he still in the room?
He is. There.
He is, yeah. You're muted.
I don't have any audio. He's not muted.
Yes. Oh, okay. He doesn't know.
Might need to reconnect. So his camera froze up. There, if you can, he's reconnecting. Okay. So what you got, Eddie? You got anything else to say before he gets back on here?
Well, wasn't it Thursday we got the Jazz?
No, wait, hold on. He's back. He's back. Are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, I guess just like a few things that like really pissed me off. I feel like everyone's been kind of maligning the bad Luka start, but just to put that in perspective, so 8 out of our 11 games, we've lost the first quarter. Last year, Luka was the best first quarter scorer in the league. Not just on the team, in the league, right? Kyrie was the leading fourth quarter scorer in the league. Last year, we had a ridiculously good winning percentage in the clutch. Through 6 games last year in the clutch, we were 5-1. This year, we're 1-5. So it's not just that we're starting slow, and it's not just that we have to crawl our way out of these deficits. It's that we get to the end, and either we're not in good conditioning, we're not in good mental space, we're not in rhythm, whatever it is. We're just not closing these games that we last year closed with basically blindfolded. Like every single game, it felt like we had more than a puncher's chance in the clutch. And this year, it's just maybe it's uneven footing because people don't know the pecking order. Maybe it's uneven rotations and guys being out of rhythm, but it just feels like the easiest thing to point to is Luka's efficiency, because at the end of the day, we're going to run through him and Kyrie in the clutch, and Luka has just straight up not been efficient. And you look like you have a response to that.
No. No, what you're saying is like triggering, like thoughts that I've thought to myself while watching is like something is off with I've seen him airball floaters a lot this season.
I think honestly what it comes down to for me is I think when he looks like the best player in the world is when he's playing downhill. Mm-hmm. And then he lets the fear of the drive in the defender bring space for him to use his step back, to use his deep range. But it feels like this year he's kind of bought into this mentality of I need to shoot the 3 first to make them come out so I can get inside, which is just not true. He shot 65% plus, I think, in the restricted area last year, which is just ridiculous. He's up there with centers and dudes like that. Like he needs to get back to playing inside out and let the other dudes on the team, bear that shooting responsibility first. But yeah. It's just been frustrating to watch, and but I do think that we'll turn it around. I do think that the injuries to start the season have put us in a bit of an awkward situation. Kidd has notoriously always been a fidgeter and an experimenter early, especially in the season with rotations. So it is not a shock to me that he's throwing out these 3 and 4 guard lineups, but it is frustrating, and it does mean that we're gonna end up with some wonky numbers where Kyrie's been our best player and our most efficient player. But if you look at him and his on-off stats with Luka and Klay, it looks like he's not being very useful. And it's because Kid keeps playing him with Dinwiddie and Grimes or Dinwiddie and Hardy, and it's like you're just asking to get mollywopped. But yeah,
You're making fantastic points, Daryl.
Preach.
Yeah.
It's been an experience and not the most pleasant one, but I do think that the team has two very encouraging things. One, despite what he said after the Nuggets loss, Kid clearly fixed his mistake and played Quentin Grimes tonight. Something that I think we all knew coming into the season needed to happen. In my opinion, he needs to be playing upwards of 20 plus minutes a night. I know a lot of people saw him as the Josh Green replacement. I see him as the Derek Jones Jr. replacement, in that he's one of the few guys on our squad that can genuinely get over screens, that can guard on the perimeter with some intensity. And we got to lean into
In my opinion, I think he got blasted so bad in the media the last 2 days for what he said about not saying why Grimes didn't play and making it out like Grimes is the bad guy. And then you walked into Golden State and you look up and there's Nico in the building and there's Patrick. Patrick's in the building, the governor of the Mavericks. And I think some calls were probably made like, hey, you might want to play the guys we invested in, because it's Kid will throw a guy in, but he left Grimes in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When did we see that last year? After we went on that bad losing streak and the media blasted Kid, and there had to be some internal conversations about, we just made all these trades, you better get your shit together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I believe that's what happened tonight, and Grimes played fantastic tonight.
Yeah. And I love that, and I want to see more of that moving forward. I think we probably will. One other very encouraging thing for me.
Hold on. Do you know Jason Kidd? Because,
I like to imagine that he can at least see good number go up, bad number go down.
Once again, do you know Jason Kidd? You're reading all these numbers. Do you know Jason Kidd?
What are you on about? This is Jason Kidd's little brother. Come on. Darrow Kidd. Didn't you know him? Come on.
All right, well, maybe he'll figure it out mid-season. But one other encouraging thing I will say, and I think this goes back to the clutch time stats that I was mentioning. Coming into tonight, I don't know how they shifted since. Mavs were actually top 10 in both offense and defensive rating, which is a huge indicator of a championship contender. Mm-hmm. It's just literally been we lost the last 3 games by a combined 6 points. Like, it's hard to quantify that in the win-loss column in comparison to how good their offense and how good their defense has been, regardless of the injuries and the bad rotations. So I actually think that we have all the tools we need, which is why I think it's ridiculous that people are already talking about trades.
So,
because at the end of the day, like we still have
hold on. But at the end of the
all
day,
these rotation players that are just out.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, losers find ways to lose and winners find ways to win.
That's true.
And there's plenty of teams throughout the history of every sport that can say, well, we only lost by this many points each game, but you lost.
Damn right.
So Lively came back. Lively was a hell of a difference. If they don't make that BS call on Gafford, we probably win this game, to be honest. But good teams...
If we're not rocking with Gafford for the last 5 minutes instead of Lively, maybe we win too.
That too, but here's the thing. Good teams have the killer instinct, and they find a way to win. When the Gafford call happened, the crowd hyped up, and everybody went. Steph Curry goes down and makes the 3, and the momentum shifts. We, every single game, collapse when the foul calls start on us. We do not have the mental fortitude to fight and be a winner. And you cannot do anything about that except through coaching and somebody. There has to be consequences for mentality. Do you think Jason Kidd is going to sit anybody?
Luka needs to be the one to set the example. Like, at the end of the day, everyone else is looking at his body language and the way I swear to God, every single time there's a timeout, the first thing he does instead of go to the huddle is go and bitch to the ref. But
Joker did it worse. But Joker did it worse, and Joker's winning right now.
Yeah, exactly. But Joker's putting up a historic season, has his team on top of the standings. Like that's...
You're out there, Annie? I lost you.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Yeah, his audio went off again. His mic. Anyway, I was like, it looks like he's acting funny. Oh, we got Div in the building. All right, hold on. Now,
Oh,
let
no.
me let Div in here.
Okay.
Hey, yo.
How's it going?
Yeah, thanks for your time, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey,
for
no,
letting
I
me
appreciate it,
vent.
man. Hey, feel free to join again. Like we do our Madness where we let everybody get on and put stats and vents, and then every post game we let people on. So I appreciate all your insight. I mean, you definitely had your numbers, so it was good. It was good stuff. TGK was
I
proud.
appreciate it. I'll see you
Yeah,
around.
he was
All
ready.
right, man, have a good night.
Can you hear me? Can you not hear me? Can you not hear me?
Yeah, I got you now. I got you, Annie.
All right.
What do you got, Div?
I think it's just the last 5 minutes of the game. You saw Golden State start getting more cleaner with their plays, getting good looks everywhere. And the last 5 minutes of our team, what did we see? The same thing we've been seeing in this whole season. Terrible plays, and when guys make them, it's hard shots. So we're really having to score hard, difficult shots. The one-on-one game, your turn, my turn. I just don't see coaching. I don't see any kind of offensive strategy. You got these kind of players, and the best play you have is give it to Luka in the inbounds at the last play of the game there, and make him go by himself one-on-one from all the way from getting the inbounds all the way down the court. You got your slowest freaking guard, basically, bringing up the ball with no screen to free him up, right? What are we doing? Like, this is coaching to me. Like, if people want to say the players aren't listening, well, then guess what? That's the coach. If you can't get the players to listen, that's the coach. Like, if players are tuning him out, that's the coach. What do you do when that happens? What do most teams do? They fire the coach. Am I wrong?
You are not wrong.
So if they
are you suggesting that 11 games in?
I would do it.
Ooh.
I honestly would, because I saw him get out-coached. I don't think he's.
It's not the first time either. Not the first time. So.
No, and I don't think he's a championship coach. I'll be honest with you. So if you're building to a championship, you need to look
I
at
keep
all
going
your
over this
pieces.
over and over again. There's only been 2 Hall of Famers that have ever been able to coach to teams to championships. Like superstar players like Jason Kidd don't end up being great coaches. Why do we think Jason Kidd's going to do something that he clearly has proven he can't do outside of having just ungodly talent like with Luka and Kyrie?
And Giannis, right? He had Giannis too.
And he had Giannis, but he can't do the job.
He didn't do much in Milwaukee.
No.
Well,
he
I guess people say he helped develop Giannis, right? I mean, they do say that, but I'm not going to take it all away from him. But what I see from him is just there's no. If you can't get the players as a coach, your job is to put your players in a position to succeed. No matter what pieces you're given, you should get the best out of each player. I do not see that from him as a coach. I don't. All I see is we got these really talented players, and his strategy is, let's be honest, we could do this too. Last minute of the game, guys, just give it to one of these awesome players, and everybody spread out. Sit on the three-point line. Spread out. One-on-one. Okay, go. Is that strategy? Like, really, you're basically telling your star player to go one-on-one and go get a bucket every freaking clutch play. Now, sure, these guys are good enough to do it once in a while, like last year in the playoffs, right? It wasn't really him coaching great, right? It was these guys were just on, right? Let's be honest. If Luka hits 50% of his threes tonight, we win, right? It's the same crap. Like, the point is you should be able to win even when these guys aren't playing that great. How many times have you seen Boston win with Tatum playing like shit?
We were winning those last year, though, with those ones where we would play like crap, we'd shoot crap, and then we'd still win. So what's the difference?
Because Luka could finish them. He can't now.
Exactly. That's the point. He was making the threes, and so
and Kyrie was the fourth
too,
quarter comeback kid. So
right. So that's what I'm saying.
That's what Darryl was talking about.
Yeah, and when you look at Boston, I don't think Tatum has to show up for them to win.
No, but that roster is also like $200 million.
Well, ours will be soon too.
Yeah,
ours will be soon
Luka.
too. The way if Luka gets paid, right, and if Kyrie gets paid next year if we keep him, right?
No, but like a single year is 200 million.
No.
Versus
No, I get what
it's
you're
pretty
saying,
crazy. So, anyway, we're about to hit 45 minutes. We're not supposed to be doing these more than 30 to 45. So
thanks, guys.
And it is 12:40 at night. So I would like to get in bed. I got work in the morning. So I appreciate everybody joining. As always, we will be on for a pregame show an hour and 15 minutes before every Mavs game. So please join us on a pregame show, and then on Friday or Saturday night. This night, I think it's Saturday this week. We have our Midnight Madness, where we kind of have this kind of conversation. We talk about the whole week, what's going on, and just kind of cover anything we want to talk about. It's a free-for-all show. So appreciate everybody joining us tonight on another extremely, extremely frustrating loss for the Dallas Mavericks. And
definitely 22 vibes. I'm not going to lie. Or
it is
22, 23 vibes.
It is, man. I feel like it's like we're going to be playing for the play-in, and if we get lucky, we get in.
Man.
Yeah, if y'all don't know.
And Luka's injured, right?
All right, shh.
And Luka's
trying to close
injured.
out here. Shh, shh.
Yeah.
We Talk Mavs is live right now for anybody that would like to continue talking about this. Please jump over to We Talk Mavs, support those guys. They've always supported us. But any last words you got before we get out of here?
Nah, man, you said it all. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate you
whenever
joining.
y'all need to, I guess, a backup, I can be y'all's backup. So
all right.
if I have the time. So yeah, appreciate y'all letting me come on and rant. And
I appreciate you coming in the last minute. We were trying to figure out what we were going to do. So, all right, everybody. Well, y'all have a good night. See y'all on the next game.
Good night.
Peace out.